This week's cold case is on Mary Ann Verdecchia. Mary Ann Verdecchia disappeared June 7, 1962 in Bloomfield, Pennsylvania. But first, as always, let's rewind in time to see what was going on in the U.S. in 1962. John F. Kennedy was our 35th president. Glenn Bell opened the first Taco Bell in Downey, California in 1962. Sadly, the beautiful Marilyn Monroe passed away in August of 1962. In June of 1962, 3 men escaped from Alcatraz. John Glenn became the first American to orbit the Earth in 1962. But on a warm summer day, June 7, 1962, a 10-year-old little girl, Mary Ann Verdecchia, was seen walking into an apartment building and was never seen again. Mary Ann was born August 15, 1951. She was 10 years old on June 7, 1962. She was 4'10" and weighed 60 pounds. She had dark black hair and brown eyes. Mary Ann lived with her aunt and cousins in Bloomfield, Pennsylvania. She moved in with her aunt after her parents separated in 1957. Her parents didn't play a big role in her life, but nonetheless, Mary Ann was a sweet little girl willing to help anyone in need. And on June 7, 1962, Mary Ann was doing just that, helping a woman in a nearby apartment complex. Mary Ann had gone to school that morning at Immaculate Conception School. She completed a half day and ran home to change out of her uniform into a white shirt, red shorts, and white sneakers. After having lunch with her aunt around 12:30 p.m., Mary Ann went outside to play and promised her aunt she'd be back in time for dinner. Mary Ann went to Martinique Apartments on Baum Boulevard to run errands for a woman who lived there. The woman sent Mary Ann to the store. Mary Ann was seen arriving back at the apartment complex at 2:45 p.m., and that is the last time Mary Ann was seen or heard from. It wasn't until around 6 p.m. when she missed dinner that her aunt got worried and started to look for her. Mary Ann's family and neighbors searched for her, and after a few hours of not finding her, police were called at 10:30 p.m. to report Mary Ann missing. Police responded quickly and began to search. They were hopeful that Mary Ann had just gone to a friend's house and lost track of time. But when midnight came and she still wasn't home, the search area was expanded. Around 75 police officers and 30 police dogs joined in the search effort. They walked down every street and alley in the neighborhood. They peered into every parked car and trash can. They didn't find anything that could help lead them to Mary Ann. The day after Mary Ann went missing, a small pearl and amber bracelet was found on the ground near the entrance to the Highland Park Zoo. When it was brought to her aunt, she identified it as being Mary Ann's, but there was no way of knowing how long it had been there. Mary Ann walked through the park often, and her aunt couldn't remember the last time she had seen her wearing that bracelet. It could have been lost before she went missing. Let's go over suspects and theories. An 8-year-old girl had gone to the police and told them that she had heard screaming in Highland Park on the day that Mary Ann went missing, and saw a girl who matched Mary Ann's description go running down the side of a hill in the park. She wasn't sure if the girl was playing around or was actually in trouble. She had thought the girl was calling for help, but there was no one following her when she ran down the hill. Due to the fact that they had found Mary Ann's bracelet in the same area, they decided that the park needed to be searched. They went over every inch of land, but unfortunately they didn't find anything. Police also went to talk with Mary Ann's parents. Her father wasn't too hard to track down as he still lived in the area. While he hadn't seen Mary Ann in over a year, he did talk to her often on the phone. He was crushed to hear Mary Ann was missing. Police ruled out her father having her. Her mother, on the other hand, was hard to track down, but they found her in Chicago on June 19, 1962, and unfortunately, Mary Ann was not with her either. She wasn't even aware that her daughter had gone missing, and said she didn't know anything about where the girl might be. Police also ruled the mother out of having Mary Ann. The month after Mary Ann disappeared, a Bloomfield man was arrested after he tried to lure 3 young girls into his car. Luckily, a local restaurant owner noticed what was going on and was able to intervene before any of the girls got into the car. Detectives suspected that maybe he was involved in Mary Ann's disappearance, and he was questioned. He insisted he had nothing to do with it and agreed to take a lie detector test. The results of the test were inconclusive, and police were unable to find any evidence linking him to the crime. However, some detectives were convinced he was guilty of doing something to Mary Ann, but he was never charged. The case went cold, and almost 30 years later, in 1991, a man came forward claiming he witnessed a priest killing and burying Mary Ann, and took police to the site he said Mary Ann was buried. They dug up that area and found no sign of Mary Ann. They did track down the priest and questioned him, but he denied the man's claims. There was no evidence linking him to Marianne's disappearance. The police did not charge him, nor did they ever release his name. Marianne would now be 72 years old. Marianne Verdecchia went missing June 7, 1962. She was 10 years old, 4'10", weighed 60 pounds, had black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information on Marianne's whereabouts, please call 412-323-7800. If you like this video, give it a like. Also, follow and/or subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Make sure to check out our shorts and reels as we post daily. And if you have a cold case that you want covered, be sure to let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.